When my daughter was about 11, she started giving me weekly updates, not about her days, about everyone else's. I knew which parents had a screaming match on Sunday night. I knew the exact weekend agenda of families I never met. I knew whose house smelled funny, whose dad made a fool of himself at pickup, whose mom had made a life choice that the group disapproved. The most intimate details of a home, the fights, the habits, the decisions, the dynamics. Public knowledge by Monday evening. I listened and I understood something. Our front door is not a soundproof barrier. Today's episode is about two things that are actually one thing: what our teen is bringing home about other families, and what they are talking out about ours. Both directions, same ecosystem, and most of us only thought about just one of them. Let's get started. Let's start with the information that arrives at our door. The weekly update, as exhausting as it can be, as uncomfortable as it makes you sometimes, is one of the most valuable things you have as a parent. It's a window into the peer group, an early warning system, a teaching opportunity. But first, what is it actually? It's your teen processing their social world out loud, everything they observed, overheard, absorbed, and filed away about the families around them. It comes home, sometimes in fragments, sometimes in a full report, sometimes discussed as a casual conversation. And here's the thing most of us don't realize: not hearing the weekly update doesn't mean it isn't happening. It means it's happening somewhere else. Your teen is processing their social world, they are just not processing it with you. So, what to do with what we hear? When the update arrives and it's about a family you know, a situation that concerns you, a kid who seems to be struggling, here's what the channel makes possible. You get to say, that kid sounds like he's going through something hard. Tread carefully with him. Help if you can. Or at least don't add to what he's already dealing with. 1, 2 sentences that teaches them empathy, loyalty, and social intelligence at the same time. You only get to say it if you stayed in the conversation. But staying in the conversation means receiving it correctly. And many of us don't. The temptation when the weekly update arrives is to do one of the following wrong things: to interrogate, to immediately call the other parent, to turn into a lecture, to gasp and say, "Oh my God, poor parents, I would die," which sounds like a reaction, but is actually a piece of data your teen just collected about what you think. And what you think determines what they bring you next. Receive it calmly. Ask a question. Why do you think that happened? What options do you think she has now? Share your perspective without performing it. I think it's because of this, but I'm not sure. What do you think? This "I'm not sure" is very important. It tells your teen that you're consulting them, that their thinking matters here, that you don't have all the answers straight away. The channel stays open based on one thing: what happens every time something comes through. Now let's consider what's going out. What is our teen talking out about us? Before we get to what's being shared, why are they sharing it at all? Because there are three different things that could be happening, and they require three very different responses. The first is processing. Something at home doesn't sit right with them. Uh, a habit they find embarrassing. A parenting decision they disagree with. A dynamic they don't have words for yet. Telling peers is how they make it speakable before it becomes something they can bring to you. Or they may never bring it home. but they still want to vent somewhere. The second is social currency. The group is swapping family stories, and your teen contributes one. Not because it bothers them particularly, but because everyone is doing it and they needed something to add. It's the conversational economy of their age. Not personal, not targeted, just the price of participation. The third one is a red flag. When a teen is consistently and specifically exposing a parent's vulnerabilities to their peer group, targeting, not sharing, that's something different. That's a signal of disconnection or something unresolved between you that cannot come home and cannot be held alone. It presents as gossip, but it isn't. It's a distress signal. Now, what is your teen taking out about your family? From around 10 or 11 onwards, the peer group extends its gaze beyond your teen to everything attached to them: their home, their parents, the car, the food, the habits, the routines, the conflicts, the status. Your whole family goes under the magnifying glass, whether you know it or not. And here's the part that will either reassure you or unsettle you. The audit is almost entirely about surface. They don't care if you're a brain surgeon, a stay at home mom, or the prime minister. You get measured with the same ruler: what you look like, your aura, the vibe you give off in 30 seconds. This is not an indictment, it's just how social perception works at this age: fast, visual, and very unreflective. But the visible layer is just the beginning. There's the behavior layer: how you interact with their friends, whether you embarrass them in public, how you handle other parents, whether you're the adult who makes everyone comfortable or the one who makes the room tense. And there's the values layer: what you say about other people, how you handle conflict, what kind of adults you are when they are watching. And there's the private layer: the stuff that leaks, the habit that feels odd, the Sunday night argument that was somehow public knowledge by Tuesday, the parenting decision they disagree with, the life choice you made that the peer group has decided to assess, the door open dead. It's all in the case file. And before you think about opting out, don't bother. The parent who parks further away, who stays in the car at the pickup, who declines every school event, is not escaping the audit. They are becoming the mystery parent. And mysteries get filled in by imagination, which is frequently worse than reality. There is no neutral position, only deliberate or accidental. Now, I have to say this: most families have one parent who takes this more seriously than the other. In my house, I complied, mostly and consciously. I understood what was at stake for my daughter, and I made deliberate choices about how I showed up in her world. Every time I know I'm going to school for a meeting or an event, I treat it like I'm going to the theater. Heels, small bag, hair done, makeup on. Not because I'm performing, because I understood what my daughter needs from me. And what she absolutely does not need is to become the weekly update. Well, her dad complied less. Not because he didn't care, because he hadn't mapped the system the way I had. And because he has a particular talent for taking any conversation at any speed directly to politics every time. My daughter has never been embarrassed by our home or our food or our traditions, but she has been visibly tense watching her father steer a conversation about travel plans into geopolitical territory in less than 4 minutes. I can prepare the house, I can prepare the food, I can prepare myself. I cannot always prepare him. And she knows that. What she does learn from my response, that her word matters to me. What does she learn from his? That he is exactly who he is, always, regardless of context. That there's a kind of integrity in that, even when it's inconvenient. that not everything in life can be managed and prepared, that sometimes the people you love embarrass you and you survive it. Okay, so what about this communication channel? A lot of parents complain that their teens aren't speaking to them. Here's something about teenagers and communication: they don't open the channel, you open the channel. They test the water first. They have started to test it since pre-teen years. How they test it? Your teen brings you a story about a friend or someone they say is a friend. They tell you what happened, what that person did, how it went, and they watch your face. You almost never know whether it's actually about the friend or about them. My friend did this. What do you think? Could be true, could be a proxy, could be your teen sitting there watching your reaction and deciding whether this is safe territory before they bring you the real version. If your reaction is shock, horror, judgment, oh my God, I would die, poor parents, the door on that subject closes. They have your position. They know what you think. And they know it's not safe to bring you the real story. If your reaction is curiosity and measured thinking, like, interesting, why do you think he did that? What would you have done? How do you think she can repair that? The door stays open, maybe widens a bit. The parent who consistently passes the water test is the one who eventually gets the real story. And the parents who don't know they are being tested, who react from instinct, from anxiety, from their values on full volume, fail tests they don't even know they took, and wonder later why their teens stopped sharing. Beside that, there's another dead end road that parents have created: the declarations, the big statements made in the abstract, usually when something comes up in the news or at the table. The kind of, if you ever throw a party in my absence, I kick you out of the house. If I catch you smoking, you are grounded forever. If I hear anyone in your class is doing drugs, I'll transfer you immediately. The parents said these things in a moment of principle. They meant them as value statements. They've probably forgotten they said them, but the teen has not forgotten a single one. Every declaration like this goes into a mental inventory, a precise map of which confession triggers consequence. And the teen who has a full inventory of these is not going to come home and say, um, I need to talk to you about something. They won't. They are going to manage the information, handle it alone, tell their peers, who at least won't transfer them to another school. The manifesto is one of the highest wall between parents and their teens, and it's almost always made accidentally, years before the situation may actually arrive. If you've made declarations like this, and most parents have, it's worth going back and softening them, not abandoning your values, but opening the door slightly. What I said about that, I want to be clear. If something like that ever happened, I want you to come to me first. Whatever the situation, we figure out a solution together. That sentence doesn't erase the manifesto, but at least it puts a door into the wall. If your team doesn't bring home the weekly update, don't assume it means nothing is being shared. It means the sharing is happening somewhere else. The parent whose teen shares nothing at home is working with less information. And less information about your teen's social world is never an advantage. So, how do you open it? Not by asking directly, that's for sure. Why don't you tell me anything? that goes nowhere. It puts them on the defensive immediately. You open it by going first. Share something from your own life, but still relevant for the present days, of course. A situation with a colleague, something that happened in your own social world, something you're still thinking about, genuinely, not as a prop. Something happened this week with a friend's family. I keep thinking about it. Let me tell you, maybe you see differently. What do you make of it? And actually listen to their answer. Ask the second question. Why do you think that happened? The channel opens gradually, in time, not through one conversation, through many small moments where sharing felt safe and useful rather than risky and consequential. And it stays open based entirely on one thing: what happens the first time something real comes through. Yes, but also, having the channel open doesn't mean you're getting the full picture. Some teens are very good at knowing exactly what to feed you. They've studied you carefully. They know which version keeps you reassured without triggering consequences. They know how to tell you just enough. Let me give you an example. A girl tells her mom she's hanging out with her new colleague in Old Town after school. Normal, usual, easy to get approval. Instead, she's checking out abandoned buildings on the outskirts of the city with this new classmate. The mom thought she knew where her daughter was, but she knew where her daughter said she was. Those are two very different things. The teen who does that isn't lying exactly. She's curating, strategically and skillful. But this doesn't mean the channel isn't worth having. It absolutely is. But it means staying curious, asking the second question, not just the first. Pretend you didn't understand well. Wait, how? Who said that? Tell me again, please. I got confused. Notice when the story is a little too tidy or you get a different second version. But nevertheless, maintain the kind of relationship where the real version eventually finds its way to you. Maybe not that night, but eventually. Okay, so let's dive in how parents destroy the channel, because most of them do it in the first 10 seconds. Don't punish your teen for what they've been sharing with their peers. If you find out your teen has been discussing your family's private dynamics with their friends, a fight they witnessed, a habit they find embarrassing, something sensitive, punishing them for it is the wrong move because they weren't betraying you. They were processing or fitting in or signaling something they couldn't bring to you directly. Punishment teaches them one thing: hide it better next time. Don't issue the preemptive threat after an episode like this one. When you've become aware that your family is being discussed, the temptation is to lock it down. Don't you dare tell anyone at school what happens in this house. I forbid it. You really cannot control what a teenager shares with their group. Attempting to do so doesn't stop the sharing, it just adds shame and secrecy to it. Don't interrogate and don't investigate independently. The parent who turns a casual update into a cross examination or into a detective mission teaches their teen that sharing information triggers an investigation. It will be the last thing they shared. Okay. Don't repeat it. What your teen brings home stays in your head vault here. Don't jeopardize the precious channel of communication between you and your teens for a quick gossip call or a careless slip. Your teen will find out. They always do. And they will never forgive you for breaking their trust. Don't make it about you. I can't believe you didn't tell me sooner. I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt you kept this from me. Now your teen is managing your feelings about the thing instead of processing the thing itself. Wrong direction entirely. Don't lecture every time. If every piece of information they bring home triggers a value lesson or a moral framework, they'll stop bringing things home. Save the important conversation for what and for what genuinely matters. Most of what they share just needs to be heard, not fixed, not assessed, just heard. Don't weaponize it later, storing information and bringing it out months after. Well, I know what you did. That builds another wall. Your team learns that what they share becomes ammunition. Everything that follows will be curated accordingly. The principle underneath all of this is the same. The moment you make what they tell you about you, your feelings, your reaction, your need to act, is the moment they learn to tell you less. Receive first, respond second, react last, or never.
Now let's see what you actually can do. First, stop pretending they aren't watching. They are. Your teen's peer group is an opinion of your family, whether you're thought about it or not. The question is only whether you're making conscious choices about what they find or leaving it to chance. So, build your version of the theater, whatever preparation ritual works for your family. The advanced notice system, 1 day's notice before friends arrive, give you time to show up deliberately rather than accidentally. The 20 minutes of effort when the stakes are high matter, not performance, choice. There's a difference. Because performance is about managing perception, choice is about deciding who you want to be when their world is watching. Then know when to activate. You don't have to be perfect all the time. But when the stakes are generally high, like the new friend, the important social moment, the encounter that would stick, show up deliberate, put in the effort. Not to impress, but to protect your team from carrying the social weight of an accidental version of you. Don't opt out. Parking further away doesn't help. Staying in the car doesn't help. Absence gets noted and discussed. There is no neutral. Show up deliberately, imperfectly, but present. Address the asymmetry if it's causing real problems. If one parent is consistently the source of social tension, the political tangents, the embarrassing stories, the unpredictable behavior, that's worth a private conversation between the two of you. Not to demand compliance, to decide together what you are each willing to be in your teen's world. Prove that nothing is off the table, not by saying it, by demonstrating it. Pass the water tests. Consult genuinely. Go first. Soften the manifestos. React well the first time something real comes through. And then the next time, and then the next. The channel isn't built in one conversation. It's built in 100 small moments where your team looks at your face and decide, this is it. I can bring the next thing here too. Meanwhile, if what you heard felt helpful, hit like and subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. It will have more parents find this, and you won't miss what's coming next. So, the bottom line is your family is being peer reviewed. Your routines, your habits, your conflict, your vibe, all of it is in the case file. The peer group doesn't care if you're tired or if you mean well. They see what they see. But here's what is actually in your control. Whether what they see is something you chose. Whether the channel between you and your team is open enough that the full raw version eventually comes home. And whether, when it does, you receive it in a way that makes them want to bring you the next thing too. Nothing is off the table. Not as a declaration, it's a demonstrated reality. Build slowly, prove repeatedly over years. Don't become the Monday morning update. And don't be the parent who only finds out what happened when it's already too late to hint. Stay curious, stay present, stay in it. Next time, relatives, traditions, and conflicting messages about gender roles, success, religion, body image, and worth. Family is where values are formed, and sometimes where they collide. Our teens are in the middle of it. Take care of yourself this week. Talk soon.